So Nerlens Noel and Rich Paul are going to have a disagreement, and their disagreement is going to be going to a courtroom near you. What is the disagreement? If you've been living under a rock, allow your brother to explain. Nerlens Noel was at verge of signing an extension with the Dallas Mavericks. And at a recent gala or function, or party, whatever, Rich Paul walked up to Nerlens Noel and said, "Hey, psst, psst, you know that extension that you're getting ready to sign for the Dallas Mavericks? You're $100 million guy. I can get you $100 million contract if you allow me to be your agent." So, Nerlens Noel said, "Okay, I like what I hear." He fired his previous agent and signed to Clutch Sports. Then Rich Paul advised him to sign a 1-year contract. Then he got injured. No biggie, no problem. Rich Paul told Nerlens Noel, "Well, we'll just play it out on another 1-year contract." Nerlens Noel missed out. He could never maximize the money that he lost if he would just went on, stuck with the same agent he'd had, and signed that extension with the Dallas Mavericks. He's been bouncing to several teams. I think he's with the Knicks right now. And Rich Paul wants his fee. Nerlens Noel is unwilling to pay him. And Nerlens Noel says, "Well, I want that $100 million contract you promised me." Rich Paul says, "Good luck on that. Well, I missed out on the money that you told me not to sign," which, by the way, he wasn't Nerlens Noel agent at that particular time. He was Nerlens Noel was advised by someone else, but he took the advice of Rich Paul, fired that agent, didn't accept the extension with the Dallas Mavericks because Rich Paul advised him that. I feel like there's a difference between when you tell somebody something and when you advise someone to something. Particularly if you advise someone to do something and you're in that field of expertise. Nerlens Noel just accepted what Rich Paul was giving him. And now both of these individuals are going to come to a courtroom near you. Now, this video is not about who's right, who's wrong. This video isn't about, you shouldn't have took that advice. You should have just exercised your options and signed the contract with the Dallas Mavericks. 2020 is hindsight, but Nerlens Noel basically did a Montrezl Harrell like Montrezl Harrell did. Montrezl Harrell did a Montrezl Harrell. Nerlens Noel did a Montrezl Harrell, where you turn down money on the belief or under the advisement of your agent, which, by the way, Rich Paul told Montrezl Harrell to turn down that ridiculous money that the Charlotte Hornets was going to give him, and said, "Psst, psst, hey, that money that the Charlotte Hornets are going to give you, turn that down and sign a 2-year deal with the Los Angeles Lakers. You're going to win a title with LeBron James. And it's going to be really a 1-year contract where you can re-sign back to the Lakers or re-sign to another team. And you're going to make that money that you lost with the Charlotte Hornets that you could have signed last season." Fool's gold. Montrezl Harrell was very foolish under listening to that advice from his agent, Rich Paul. And Nerlens Noel is very foolish of accepting the advisement of Rich Paul. Rich Paul is your agent. Rich Paul should be advising you to maximize whatever money is out there in the open market. Rich Paul told Nerlens Noel that so he can be an agent for Nerlens Noel, so Nerlens Noel can sign with Clutch Sports. And that's why he was pillow talking him in his ear uh, about sugar plums and whispering sweet nothings in his ear because he needed Nolan's Noel under that umbrella of signing with Clutch Sports. And Rich Paul has a history, a decorative history of former players that he used to advise. Now no longer he's not advising because of Rich Paul's bad advice. I shouldn't be that harshly on bad advice. I really think it's advice, but it's really who this advice is benefiting. Is it benefiting Montrezl Harrell? No. Is it benefiting Nolan Noel? No. Is it benefiting anyone? No. It's clearly benefiting someone, but not the individuals that Rich Paul is advising. It's clearly benefiting the Los Angeles Lakers and LeBron James, and allow me, brother, to explain why. By signing these smaller one-year contracts, who's to say later on down the road when the Lakers need a power forward or a point guard or a center, they can accomplish these trades a lot quicker without giving up so much talent or so much salary or so many draft picks. Because you have to match the salaries to make these trades acceptable. And a 1 year or a 2 year contract, you can really, those trades will really be accepted quicker on a smaller contract versus if the player just goes out, accept the most money whatever ball club is going to pay them, and then later on down the road, if the Lakers want to trade for that player, which, by the way, that player's under the Clutch Sports umbrella, which, by the way, the Los Angeles Lakers have more Clutch players, clients under their roster than anyone else, which, by the way, Clutch Sports, the person that they take care of first, and then everyone else follows down the line, is LeBron James. And LeBron James is managed by Clutch Sports, which, by the way, LeBron James owns Clutch Sports. Okay? Don't get it twisted. Don't get it confused. All right? So that's the reason why they manipulate a lot of these players to forego guaranteed money at that particular time. You can get that money and forego that to take 1 year, 2 year contracts, or a 1 year or a 2 year contract that's really a 1 year contract. And a lot of these contracts are favorable for the Lakers if the Lakers down the road want to trade for these players. And that's what Clutch Sports is mainly is. Clutch Sports is mainly a convenient way, a farm system. If the Lakers need a player here or a player there to advance them any further, they can accomplish these trades a lot quicker or get rid of these players a lot quicker by them signing 1 year contracts. And that's basically what Montrezl Harrell and Nolan Noel have signed, because the carrot that's dangling at the end is them. What Rich Paul is telling them is, oh, you can sign max money. You can sign $100 million contract down the road. You just got to play out this 1 year contract, and next year that's when we'll give you that money. Similar to what Dennis Screwdom did. Dennis, I'm gonna call Dennis screw him. Dennis screwed himself royally by overplaying his hand and overplaying the market. He believed he was a $100 million type of player, which, by the way, he's not represented by Clutch Sports. This is Dennis' belief, and I feel like the reason why Dennis had that belief because of members of the LeBron James camp or LeBron James pillow talking into his ear saying, psst, psst, hey, if you just sign this smaller contract with the Lakers, we'll take care of you down the road, fit it under our contract, and we'll give you $100 million. Dennis screwed himself, said, oh, wait a minute. If you feel like 2 years down the road, I'm $100 million now, then I'm $100 million dollars today. And lo and behold, when free agency started, no one was interested in. Dennis screwed himself. Dennis screwed himself royally, where he's never going to make that $100 million. He's never going to even make the $90 million that he turned down from the Los Angeles Lakers. And he's now accepting a measly 1-year offer with the Boston Celtics. With, by the way, if you match his talent with what they have on the Boston, I'm about to say Boston Marathon, Boston Celtics, he does not fit. Okay, this is not going to work. And he's also going to be playing for a contract that's really not going to work for the Boston Celtics. But yeah, I feel like a lot of these players overplay the market. Now, I told you guys in a video, I feel like next free agency, a lot of these owners are going to be penny pinching. They're going to be tight on their pocketbooks, okay? A large part of, if this pandemic still goes on and if the NBA still loses revenue because of the pandemic, because of the woke movement, because of whatever, if they're not, if they're not making a lot of money next offseason, a lot of these owners are going to be penny pinching. Okay, now the superstars, they're still going to get theirs. Dame Lillard is going to get his. Kevin Durant is still going to get his. Kyrie Irving's still going to get his. James Harden's still going to get his. But other than that, a lot of these in-between superstars, these stars and in-betweens are close to being a star, they're going to struggle. The struggle is going to be real for these players. All right, so that's all I got for today's video. In retrospect, Nerlens Noel is when they go to court, he's not going to get any verdict where he's going to get most or half of the money that he already lost by allowing Rich Paul to represent him. He's still going to have to pay Rich Paul a fee. Now, Rich Paul advised you that you could have made $100 million, but he didn't guarantee it. And like I said earlier, Rich Paul is really benefiting. He's really representing and benefiting LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers more so than the players. All right. But guys, tell me what you think. Rate, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next video. Deuces.